Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is another episode of Next Level Motivation Book Reading. I am Donovin Darius. I want to welcome you guys here to another episode. These are some of the most amazing opportunities, man, when you get your day started with the right mindset, when you get your day started understanding that you're not alone, understanding that the trials and tribulations that you go through, you're not the only one. There's other people that have experienced it. And sometimes one of the most encouraging things when people go through things is to know that I'm not alone, that there's somebody else that walked the same path as I did. And so again, I come onto these forums in the morning just so you can know, so it can kind of give you that pep step. I mean, give you some nice little nutrients early in the morning, something for your soul, something for your mind, something for your spirit, something for you to apply to your body. So I want to welcome you guys. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey as we walk forward as well. And so as we get going, again, you guys, we're in chapter 4. We just started chapter 4. And this chapter is one of the best chapters in the book because this chapter is all about purpose. And the name of this chapter is Everything Has a Purpose. Everything has a purpose. And see, and that purpose is so big. The word purpose and the concept and understanding purpose is so big because as you go through stuff, we're always trying to figure out what is going on. Why is this happening? And beyond why is it happening, you got to be like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why are people acting the way they are? That question of why, although it's one of the most shortest words, but it has so much, when unpacked, it has so much revelation that can help you as you're moving forward. And so this chapter right here, we're talking about understanding purpose and everything has a purpose. My goal for you is that while we're in this chapter, that you start to look at your life from the lens of perspective. I'm actually writing another book as we speak right now, and it's a book on purpose. I haven't titled it or whatever, but it is a book on purpose, meaning it goes deep, deep, deep into these areas that we're talking about. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for exercises, for you to do some exercises, for you to gain clarity. You see, it's one thing for you to go through a tough time and somebody else to claim what does it mean. It's another thing for you to go through something and somebody else want to define it, or somebody want to put blame, or somebody want to accuse, somebody want to judge, somebody want to give you their feedback as to why you're going through what you're doing. But it's not until you understand the purpose of something. It's not until you understand, why did that happen to me? Or why did that happen in my life? Or why did I do that? Or matter of fact, why am I here? It's not until you understand why. You see, we all got light in some of the previous chapters. We talked about seasons, right? It might have been chapter 2, which was everything in life. If you look at your life as a journey, look at it as seasonal. Then that basically means that everything that happens in each season has a purpose. So we have the winter part of our lives. A time where there's nothing really growing. It seems like things are dying down. It doesn't seem like anything is being productive at all. It just seems like we're just walking through. And then we have the springtime, where the springtime things start sprouting out a little bit. You start to see the benefit. The weather cools down. Things get a little more comfortable. You start being able to see the fruits of your labor of a little bit. But then we get into the summertime, and that's when it seems like, everything breaks loose. That just means like the pressure's on, the heat is on, it's turned up. And you find yourself in that time. But then you get to the fall. You get to the fall. And that's when you see the fruit of your labor. You're able to enjoy the harvest. And so all those seasons is the same thing naturally, but it's also the same thing in your life. In our lives, we have seasons. You may be in one season of your life spiritually. You may be in another season of your life, emotionally, mentally, financially. But for you to understand, what am I supposed to be doing in this situation? And why is this happening? And what's the benefit of it? See, here's one of the most amazing things about you and I as human beings. And that is this. If you ask yourself a question, you're going to come up with an answer. And sometimes, unfortunately, we come up with the wrong answer. For example, when we talked about seasons, right? The purpose of winter. The purpose of winter, when nothing's growing, nothing's happening, it seems like everything is dead. The purpose of wintertime is for you actually to use that time to go back to the drawing board. To go back to writing down your vision, going back to thinking all over again, beginning with the end in mind, believing, imagining, dreaming. That's the purpose of that time. Because guess what? You're a lot of times in wintertime stuck in the house, right? You're not out there playing around, running around, doing all this stuff. So you're probably sitting still. You're probably in a place where you can be solitude, a place where you can really spend some time just kind of sitting, writing, thinking about different things that you want to think about so that way you can plan it out. That's the purpose of wintertime. But then there's also the springtime. Well, the springtime is when you start to plan that stuff out. You plan it out. You strategize it. You write this plan down. You give yourself an opportunity to take everything you wrote down in the wintertime, and now you put it into a plan. And now you dot the I's, cross the T's, you do your research. So that's what the springtime is. But then you get into the summer, and that's when it's time to work. That's when it's time to put that plan to work. Okay? Put that plan to work. That's what the summertime is. And sometimes it can be harder, sometimes it can be easy, but you're always working and you're grinding in life. And then comes the fall time. And in the fall, you see the fruits of your labor. You start to see the things that you planted a while ago, how they come to pass. You get a chance to feel good about yourself and about your accomplishments. Why? Because now you're seeing the things that you planted in the wintertime, you thought about, things you planted in the springtime, the things you worked for in the summertime, and now you're seeing the fruits of your labor, and you're able to manage it in your spring, in your autumn, and in your fall time. You see, and I say all that because, and I wanted to remind you of that, because when we're dealing with this chapter 4, everything has a purpose. That means that you may be in a certain season of your life and you don't know why this is happening. Well, I'm here to tell you, look at that through the lens of perspective and look at that through the lens of purpose. And I guarantee you, you'll start to see, oh, okay, this is why it's happening. Think about your life. Think about some of the hardest challenges that you had to overcome over the last couple of years. And think about, because of that thing you had to go overcome, it could be the loss of a loved one. It could be the loss of a job. It could have been, a physical report. It could have been a relationship breakup, whatever it is. Because of that, you're like, man, what's the purpose of me going through this pain? Well, guess what? You ask yourself that. What was the purpose of you going through that pain? What did you learn? How did you grow because you went through that? You see, there's no change without the challenge. Okay, if I go into this weight room here where I'm about to go get my workout on, I don't get stronger if I don't ever put any resistance there. I don't get faster if I don't go through the mechanics of actually pushing my body to move forward, exercising my muscles, exercising my mind, exercising the very perseverance to keep going. You see, I don't get better if I don't have the challenge. But when I look at it through the lens of purpose, what is the purpose of me running and then I'm getting tired and I feel like I can't do anymore? What's the purpose of that? My body feeling that way. The purpose of it to me is that it takes it to a certain threshold. And once it gets to that threshold, it increases my ability to do more. And so when you look at your life through the lens of purpose, you'll see everything has a purpose. And so I want to thank you guys again for being a part of this. Okay, if this is making sense to you, type of 1. Okay, if you've been through something in your life where you discovered the purpose after the fact and it totally made sense, type of 2. Okay, and so we're going to kind of pick up real quick here. Yesterday we talked about purpose. We talked about the power of purpose. I share a little bit of my story about growing up in the ghetto, growing up in the hood, growing up in the inner city, and how that was one of the best things in my life that it could ever happen, because it developed in me a love and a desire to help others. It developed in me a love and desire for the things that really matter, the people, not just the profit of money or the lure of those things, but to utilize money to help people. And that happened because of my upbringing. That happened because of what I was developed in. And so when I came to the NFL, I didn't think about all the stuff I was going to buy. I thought about all the things that I can help other people with. And so again, those our beginnings have a reason. They have a purpose. And so I talked about that. So we'll pick it up today, still in chapter 4. Remember, here's a copy of your book that you can get. All right, let's see if you guys can see it. Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullness. Okay, you can check it out on Amazon and pick up a copy. So let's read a little bit, and then we're going to conclude today as you guys getting started or continue to see your day. Power of purpose. Purpose is the very reason for the existence of a thing. Purpose is the original intent. Everything in life has a purpose, although we may not always understand what it is. It's only when we spend a life seeking, finding, walking in, and understanding the purposes of our life experiences that we can truly appreciate every aspect of our lives. We can then look at our lives and determine that all the storms eventually pass, and everything always works together for our good. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it seems like, no matter what it feels like, at that moment, it's working for you and not against you. And so I want to encourage you to live your life with confidence, because you have everything you need to overcome any obstacle. Because it all works together in the end. And it all works together because of purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is defined as the reason for something existing. Purpose is an intended or desired result. Purpose is an aim, it's an end, or it's a goal. Purpose is the original intent for the creation of anything. Purpose is the original reason for the existence. It's the reason why it exists. Purpose is the very cause of a thing. Purpose is the desired result that initiated the production. Purpose is the destination that prompted and started the journey. And purpose is the object that one wills to have. See, we can all fulfill our potential when we understand that our lives were created with purpose. As stated above, purpose is the original reason for something to exist. There was an end goal in mind which prompted the manufacturer to begin the process well before the thing came to existence. You see, our lives are shaped in exactly the same way. We were predestined with a purpose before we spent one day on this earth breathing in our air and feeling our hearts beat. Before we experienced one day or even had the chance to feel inadequate, as some may feel as they walk through their life, we were complete in the mind of our Creator. You see, as you think about that, and as you think about some of the definitions of what purpose is, when you think about it, it says, hey, it's the desired result that initiated production. You see, every car, every phone, every TV, every house, everything, there's a desired result that a person have before they actually start the journey of creating it, of making it, of putting all the plans together. There's an image. Everything starts with your vision. Everything starts with the image. Everything starts with a picture. What do you see? And it's based off of what you see will determine what you do. And what you do will determine on what you get. When it says purpose is the object that one wills to have, when you think about, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your relationship to look like? What do you want your peace of mind to look like? What do you want your physical body to look like? It's the object that one wills to have. You know, we talked in chapter 3 about your design for success. And we talked about the power of the mind. And we talked about one of the intellectual abilities, the faculties that you have, which is the most powerful thing, which is your will. And your will, no man can measure. Your will is the thing that you have on the inside of you that allows you to overcome everything. It allows you to focus on something, being able to block out, any and every other distraction. Your will. And so when it says purpose is the object that one wills to have, my question to you is, what is the object that you will to have? What is the object that you want to have? What is the relationship? What is the situation? What is the circumstance? What is the environment that you will to have? That means you're going to focus. So you're going to focus long enough, and focus intently enough until it comes to pass. What is that? What does that look like for you? You see, for me, what that looks like is, I want to continue the journey of being able to impact as many people as I can. I want to impact them with words that impact their mind, their spirit, their heart, their very soul, and their body. And so that means that I'm willing to have that. That means I'm willing to get up in the morning and I'm willing to do these videos. That means I'm willing to spend the time by sharing with you my heart and experiences I had, so that way we can connect and you can know that you're not alone. And then you can take these messages and you can apply them to your life, and you can spread the message, by hitting the share button or telling somebody about it, and they can get connected as well. I'm willing to do it. That's the object that I will to have. I continue to write on my whiteboards, and I continue to take notes. I continue to read. I'm willing to do those things. I'm focusing on doing those things. Why? Because I want to put more value in so I can put more value out. See, so I'm willing to do that, even though I have the ability to choose this or choose that. I'm deciding one thing because of the lens of purpose. I'm willing to have this. It is the object. It is the finish. It is the journey. It is the destination that I'm choosing to do and to have. And because of that, everything I go through right now, every moment when I feel good or when I don't feel good, it all has a purpose to it. It has a purpose to it when I go through, when I wake up, I showed you guys last night, man, I had this dream. I was having this dream. It was like a nightmare or whatever, but I was having this thing. You may have felt it or something, but I had a dream where it felt like it was a spiritual attack, right? It felt like I was fighting something. I was fighting something for my life, right? It felt like it was a thing where, I wanted to push on, but it kind of felt like something wanted me to die, okay? Something wanted me to and it would feel like it was trying to drain not just my energy, but my very life. But I remember going through it. I remember in the dream that what I did is I went to the word of God and I started to speak the word of God over it. And I began to declare, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And all things I'm more to conquer. And I say, I began to speak those scriptures of warfare. Okay, it says, our God, he travels across the winds. He destroys, he destroys anything that comes against me. The Lord goes before me. He is my shield of faith all around me. Although I walk through this valley of shadow and death, I'll fear no evil because God is with me. He is my light, my strength. He's my armor bearer. He helps me. He encourages me. He builds me up. He surrounds me with a shield of favor. You know what I mean? And he says, angels descend and descend on my behalf. And right now they're sending and descending and they're protecting. They're watching over me, my family, my children, my mind, my body, my spirit, and everything that God has given me as the manager over this earth. And so, see, I'm sharing that with you. Why? I'm sharing that with you because in my dream, I went through something when I was in an unconscious state, right? I went through something and that thing felt very real. It felt very real. I woke up this morning and I still can remember the remnants of some of the things I experienced in there. And was it comfortable? No, it wasn't. Okay. Was it nervous? Yeah, it was. Because remember, I was like, oh man, did it feel like I was going through something? Yes, it did. But what was the purpose of me going through that? It got me to look at, okay, Donovan, what did you eat before you went to sleep? What did you watch before you went to sleep or anything? I'm just starting to remember, we ask ourselves a question, we're going to get ourselves an answer, right? And start going through, okay, what contributed to this? And at the end of the day, I realized this. I realized that I took some cold medicine. Right? And I took some cold medicine. One of the things about medicine, when you take it, is medicine is a spirit. Medicine has spirit in it, okay? So that means that when that medicine gets on the inside of you, just like alcohol and all that stuff, that's why they call it, you know what I'm saying, wine and spirits, right? You know what I mean? They call it that because once it get on the inside of you, it has its own, its own being, if you will. Okay, and it has a spirit on the inside of it that causes to try to disrupt things, that causes to try to do things. And so therefore, while I was sleeping, okay, the medicine in and of itself was actually enacting or it was actually causing me to experience what I was in my dream state. But here's the purpose of it. See, I could wake up and I can feel like, oh man, I'm under attack. Or I can say, what's the purpose of that? If God works everything together for my good, everything, what is the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of that was for me to understand, number one, don't take that medicine. You know what I mean? But also to understand, number two, what is my go-to when I experience those type of situations? What is my go-to? Well, my go-to is, guess what? It draws me closer to God. It draws me closer to the things that I believe, the things I'm standing on, the things that my values, my principles, my core principles. So if I know that God says, listen, no weapon formed against you going to prosper, and it ain't no good thing I'll ever withhold from you. If I know that, when I go through something, that thing that I went through, right? It happened to be a dream. That gave me the opportunity, right? To present, to position myself in a situation where I draw closer, run to, build in, cover up, be strengthened, be empowered, be encouraged by the very foundation that I stand on, which is God's word. And so I'm grateful that I had that dream. I'm grateful that I went through that last night. Why? Because it brought me closer to what I'm standing on. It brought me closer to my identity. It brought me closer to my creator. It brought me closer to my God, to my best friend, to my king. It brought me closer because I had to go through that and because I went through it. And so I say to you as we get ready to finish up here, what is the situation? What is the things that you're going through? That when you look at the lens, when you look at it through the lens of purpose, you'll see that, it wasn't here to break me. Although it was tough and you felt like, you felt beat up, it wasn't here to destroy you. See, I'm reminded of that scripture that says, although, we're perplexed, we're not destroyed. Although we're crushed down, we're not forsaken. It's saying that we're going to go through some things. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through some stuff. We're going to feel some stuff. You're going to think some stuff. You're going to see some stuff. But just know that God says, listen, that's not the end of it. Everything has a purpose. What if you went through lately that you need to look at it from the lens of purpose? What if you went through lately that you need to see it not from the standpoint, not from one side, but see it from God's side? See it from a 30,000 foot view. See how it draws you closer to him. See how it draws you closer to your principles. See how it draws you closer to trusting your intuition. See how it draws you closer to you being you and you manifesting your life. And as we say in the book, living your life to the fullness. Listen, what I'm saying to you is not something that I heard, it's something that I know. My purpose in the act of, creating these forums for people to engage has everything to do with you being able to connect to the message, you taking your life to the next level, you growing in ways that you couldn't imagine, you overcoming adversity, you pushing forward, you helping other people, you fulfilling you discovering your purpose and maximizing your potential. It has to do with you. And today, I give you the keys. I give you the keys for you to take and unlock any door and every door that you need to walk through to take your life to the next level. And one of those keys is seeing through those things, everything in your life, through the lens of purpose. Because it all has a purpose, and it's all working together for your good. Listen, I'm Donovin Darius, you guys. It has been my pleasure and my privilege to talk to you guys this morning, to share with you about purpose, about everything having a purpose. Understanding the trials and tribulations that you go through, listen, they're not here to destroy you. They're here to build you, make you, and present you with the opportunity. To present you with the opportunity. How do you ever know you got faith? Until you have a situation where you need to exercise your faith. How do you really know if you're strong? Unless you have a situation that's requiring your strength. How do you really know if you can persevere? Unless you have a situation where you need to persevere through. How do you really know you love? You're a person of love, unless you have individuals around you and you're taking action to pour out your love on other people. Life presents us all these opportunities, and it's all for a purpose. I'm here to encourage you to live your life to the fullness by looking at your life through the lens of purpose. As I said, I'm Donovin Darius, man. I appreciate you guys coming on. If you like these messages, don't forget, as we know, go ahead and like it. Your comment. If you get a chance today, what stood out to you today? Put it in the comment section throughout the day. What stood out to you in this message today? In this forum today? What did you hear? What did you see? What did you experience? What did you come to know now, about today's message, and how did it impact you? I ask you to comment because somebody else needs to know that they're not alone. Somebody needs to know that their story is not just their story, but it's part of a collective group, and we're all going through things at the same time. And we're all here to support one another. And so listen, post your comments about your message today and about what you received today and what stood out to you today. And don't forget to get over to the YouTube page if you haven't already, and make sure you link up and subscribe to there and hit the notifications so when I put up other videos as well, you'll be able to get those as well. And then last but not least, don't forget to share these messages with other individuals, okay? And so listen, man, y'all be blessed today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day today. This is the day that God has made, that has been created for you to rejoice and walk out. I appreciate you guys today, man. May God bless you. Love you all to eternal life. And I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.